What makes Superman super? Is it the flight, the heat vision, the fact that he can bench press a planet? Or is it something else entirely? Welcome back to the Panel Explorer. Today we are looking at a book that strips away the sci-fi spectacle and gets right to the heart of the Man of Steel. Today we are reviewing the modern masterpiece, Superman for All Seasons. Before we dive into the Kansas wheat fields, let's talk about the physical book. This DC trade paperback runs for about 232 pages, collecting the original 4-issue series. It's more of a prestige format miniseries. It's a standard size trade, but DC did a great job with the presentation. The paper stock has a nice glossy finish that perfectly holds the watercolor style art without bleeding, and the glued spine is robust enough that you can open it wide for those massive double page spreads without worrying too much about the pages falling off. It's a really comfortable reading experience, perfect for maybe, let's say, a rainy afternoon. Let's talk about the visual storytelling, because this is where the book transcends from just good to legendary. Written by Jeph Loeb with art by the late magnificent Tim Sale. If you know this duo from Batman The Long Halloween or maybe Daredevil Yellow, you know that they excel at dark, moody, claustrophobic atmosphere. But here, Sale flips the script entirely. The art in this book is incredibly serene. He channels Norman Rockwell to give us a Smallville that feels timeless. The pages breathe. He uses these breathtaking, wide open double page spreads of the Kansas skies that make you feel the fresh air right through the page. And look at how he draws Clark. Clark isn't drawn like a traditional chiseled bodybuilder in spandex. He's massive. He's built like a brick wall, wearing oversized flannel shirts. But his face is so soft and gentle. He looks at like a big farm boy who is hyper aware of his own strength, constantly trying not to break the world around him. Paired with Yarne Hansen's stunning watercolor-esque coloring, the whole book looks like a nostalgic memory that you're trying to hold on to. The storyline is just as brilliant. Loeb breaks the narrative into 4 chapters: spring, summer, fall, and winter. But the genius of Superman for All Seasons is that Clark Kent barely says a word about himself. He doesn't narrate his own story. Instead, we see him through the eyes of the people who define his world. Spring is narrated by his adoptive father, Jonathan Kent. It's a story of new beginnings, but also the quiet heartbreak of a father realizing his son is too big for the small life they've built, and he has to let him go. Summer is Lois Lane. It's fast, hot, and bustling. She presents Metropolis, a cynical city that suddenly finds itself looking up in awe at this impossible flying man. Fall brings in Lex Luthor. As the leaves die and the tone shifts, Luthor's narration is dripping with jealousy and venom. He views Superman not as a savior, but as a virus that has infected his city. And he sets out to orchestrate a tragedy to prove Superman can't save everyone. Finally, Winter is narrated by Lana Lang, his childhood sweetheart. It deals with the aftermath of failure, the cold isolation of feeling like you aren't good enough, and the necessity of coming home to find yourself again. I want to take a second to talk about why I love this book so much and why it is my number one recommendation if you are brand new to Superman. There is no exploding Krypton here. There are no convoluted multiverses, no phantom zones, no spaceship armadas. It completely skips the heavy sci-fi lore. This is a coming-of-age story about a kid who leaves his small hometown for a big city, gets his first real job, and realizes the world is a lot more complicated than he first thought. I love it because it's deeply relatable. We have all felt the imposter syndrome Clark feels. We have all felt the crushing weight of expectations. This book proves that what makes Superman the greatest hero, it's not in his invulnerability, it's his humanity. It's the fact that despite having the power of a god, all he really wants is to do good by his neighbors, is to help his neighbors. It takes an invincible alien and makes him the most humane guy in the room. If you have always thought Superman was too boring or too overpowered, Superman for All Seasons will change your mind. It's a beautifully crafted emotional journey that will stick with you long after you turn the final page. But that's just my take. Have you read Superman for All Seasons? What did you think of Tim Sale's art style here compared to his work in Long Halloween? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button, subscribe to the Panel Explorer for more comic deep dives, and I will see you in the next video.